What can I say? Yeah, just 1 second, guys. What can I say, guys? Really, really, really disappointing. What went on? Yeah, really disappointing with Arsenal. I mean, what can I say about that? Yeah, we really got turned over there against PSG. I mean, it was just an absolute nightmare out there. Yeah, what was going on really in the game. Can't say much more about it than that, to be honest. I mean, what else is there to say? It was just a terrible, terrible situation for the club to be in. 1 second, guys. We got well found out in the end, unfortunately. PSG were by far the better team in that game. They mashed us up big time. And we got found out in that game, unfortunately. And there isn't much more to say about it than that. We struggled throughout the tie, and we just couldn't get going really. We kind of kicked into gear. Sorry, guys. We kind of kicked into gear at the start of the second half. We maybe had a bit of a chance, and we kind of got going. But after that, it was an absolute nightmare. They were by far the better team. I mean, I don't understand some of Mikel Arteta's comments. I don't know quite where he's coming from. We were the best team in the last 4. The best team lost. I mean, is he that far gone? Is he that deluded? I mean, it just doesn't seem to make sense. I can't understand it. What he's actually doing. You know what I mean? It just doesn't make sense to me. Anyway, and like, we're all Gooners, guys. We're all Arsenal fans. We all want the team to do well. We all want to be successful. We want this. We don't know what he's thinking about. I don't know. He's just after losing his way completely, I think. I just don't really understand it. I'm going to be honest. But look, let me start at the start, guys. I want to thank everybody for your continued support on my channel. Thank you for your likes, your subscribes, and your comments. Smash the like for me now, guys. And drop a couple of comments and let's get into it. I mean, this is a match reaction of our loss to PSG. It was 2-1 on the night, guys. It was 3-1 in aggregate. They beat us, of course, first 1-0 in London. Then we went over to Paris, and of course they turned us over as fully as I expected. Not thinking I know Arsenal better than anyone else, guys, or the football club better than anyone else. I would never be as arrogant as that or as arrogant as Arteta, but I knew that we were going to get turned over. Yeah, I knew that they were going to beat us. I saw enough in the first game in London to cause me concern. Big up to Ryan, man. I hope you're keeping well. Yeah? I hope you're doing good. But I saw enough in the first game in London, guys, to give me a few sleepless nights. Caused me a bit of concern. I actually watched that game with my man Chris Lee in the FIFA Sports Bar in Zurich. I'm here in Switzerland, guys, in Zurich. So I actually watched that game at the FIFA Sports Bar in Zurich. And my God, I mean, they absolutely battered us in that game. Some of the passages of play were just, it was excruciating to watch. Of all the games that I don't go that often into pubs and stuff, guys, and watch games like that. But of all the games to go watch, we get absolutely demolished at the Emirates. So yeah, I knew kind of going to Paris it was going to be difficult. I fully expected a real battle. I knew this team have spirit, yeah. This team have character. But you can't deny how good PSG are, yeah. I mean, that could not be denied. I just had to face up to it. They are a very good team. And they were way too good for us on the night, last night. It's 16 years, guys, since we were in the semi-final. And it's 19 years since we were in the final. And when we lost to Barcelona at that same stadium we lost last night. Look, the thing is, right, I mean, I don't want to be jumping straight on the Arteta out bandwagon, but he's got to learn from this. And his talk after the game that we were the best team in the last four and that the best team lost. I mean, all the other three teams in the last four are better than us. Show some humility, show some respect for the other teams. Be gracious. Just be gracious in defeat. The best team won. The best team won. And there was no doubt about that. You can't point to injuries. You can't point to this. You can't point to that. There can be no excuses. The problem itself is that we actually should have strengthened in the transfer window. That is the thing that should have been resolved. And that is the problem. That is the problem, yeah. I mean, that is one of the things that really kind of influenced our run in the Champions League. Now, look, it's our second season back in it, and we got to the semi-final. You could say it was a success, but I mean, Arteta's reaction is just, I mean, what is he saying to the players? I mean, I can just imagine the garbage is feeding them. What kind of crap is he feeding the players? Absolute garbage. We're the best team left in it. We're not better than any of the other three teams in the semi-finals, that were in the semi-finals. We weren't better than Barca, we weren't better than Inter, and of course we weren't better than PSG. So what is he talking about? You can't point to injuries, you can't talk about this, you can't talk about that. The best team won. The thing that influenced it, like I said, were the transfers. Before the season started, we didn't bring in the top quality forward we needed. A friend of mine said it like yesterday that we needed a striker. We've been saying that, yeah, Arsenal fans, for a year. We got some amount of luck yesterday with the chances, yeah. I mean, they had so many chances yesterday to absolutely just bury us. We were very lucky. We kind of peaked maybe in the Real Madrid game, but this PSG team are light years beyond them. Joshua Weeks in the comic going to check out Australian rules football, and that's a real sport. Yeah, Aussie rules football is a good sport, man. So is Gaelic football in my country. But look, everyone is disappointed. We shouldn't just fly off the handle with knee-jerk reactions. But I mean, I don't know any other manager that has got so many chances like Mikel Arteta. I mean, we got rid of Unai Emery. He's a very good coach. I just don't know where it's going for us, yeah. I mean, what can we achieve in the new season? Where are we actually going to go with this? Look, the disappointment is palpable, and everyone is feeling it at the moment. So, like I said, we shouldn't all be just jumping on the bandwagon Arteta out. But he's got to deliver the league next season. He's got to deliver the league next season, or he has to walk. And this isn't me giving him another season. That was always my opinion before the Champions League run. He has to deliver a title next season. That title. We need to be Premier League champions. If that doesn't happen, he needs to walk. And to be honest, if he has any self-respect, if he has any dignity, he should walk away now. He should walk away right now, because he's not good enough to take us where we need to be. He's taken us as far as where we need to go, I think. I don't think there's any other way to explain it other than that. Why did we get him as manager in the first place is what I don't understand, because he's not a football manager. He had no experience. Look, this isn't all because of one game, guys. Why didn't we strengthen before the season started in areas that we needed to strengthen? It would have paid dividends yesterday. Then we went on this run. It kind of took our minds off it. It took our attention away from the problems. But the problems remain. Liverpool don't need a 5-year project. Look at Arne Slot. You know what I mean? It can be done. Okay, they have some fantastic players at Liverpool, but we have some very good players at Arsenal. And quality should have been brought in. And Arteta doesn't seem to be kind of in tune with what was actually happening out on the field. I don't think he's actually aware of how much they outplayed us over the both legs, the way it looks even to a neutral. And I am a gooner, but they outplayed us completely. The best team won, and they are in the final on merit. For him to come out and say that we were the best team in the last four, and the best team didn't win, That is worrying. That is concerning because he should actually realise and see where things went wrong and what actually happened. He just doesn't seem aware of any of that. And I don't understand it. 1 second, guys, let me turn on the light. I don't understand it. It just doesn't make any sense. I just don't understand where he's coming from, man. And like I said, it's causing concern for me anyway, because look, we're out, yeah. That's it. We got to look to the next season. But what is the season going to hold for us? Like I said, Arteta has to deliver a league title. Even my friend here in Switzerland is telling me that he's not a gooner now. But he's a fan of FC Basel. But he's even saying if he doesn't deliver a title in the new season, he needs to walk. Some of the signings we made, I mean, with all due respect to Mourinho, but Mourinho, Calafiori, Sterling, why did we get him? Like, we're mad about getting Chelsea rejects. You know what I mean? We just can't help ourselves. We just go for crap players the whole time. The signing of Jesus, the signing of Havertz. I just don't understand it. You know what I mean? Why did we go there? Why did we do that? Why did we buy those players when they weren't what we needed? It was like just a desperation. They weren't what we needed. And yet, we went on and we bought them. And look at us now. I mean, if we had got the right players in before the start of the season, even in the January transfer window, we would have been in a much better position yesterday. We're crying out for a forward. It would have paid dividends. And also when the league would have paid dividends, we might have been champions. You never know. You never know. You never know, no. But definitely they shot themselves in the foot. And here we are now, picking up the pieces, wondering what we're going to do for the new season. Disappointed about what we saw. I mean, a lot of Arsenal fans still haven't resurfaced, I think, after that game yesterday. It was a downer. I mean, big time. I went into work this morning. I was in work for 6 a.m. Yeah, so I was up around 5 a.m., 4:45. I've supported the club my whole life, yeah. Like a lot of people out there, yeah. Like a lot of the gooners out there, we supported the club our whole lives. I honestly don't know what I see another trophy in my lifetime. And I'm still a young man. But it's becoming like that. It's actually becoming like that. I don't know when I actually see another trophy in my lifetime, because 5 years, he got the FA Cup when he first started, but that was with Unai Emery's team. On his own, he's just been kind of tinkering with things and kind of doing this and doing that. I mean, you could see that Bukayo Saka wasn't fully fit yesterday, but he battled manfully and he did what he could for us, and he tried, and he was always trying to take people on. Some of the chances we gave to him, we were very sloppy just in front of our back four, and we lost possession in those areas several times when it was avoidable. It was avoidable. You know what I mean? It didn't need to be like that. And when you lose the ball right in front of the back four, guys, against a team like PSG, 3 passes and the ball was in the back of the net. There was, and take nothing away from PSG, quality when they got the chance. We made the mistake, they capitalised, and they finished with aplomb. But you got to look what went before that, the mistakes we made. I don't know, look. It's just disappointing all round. It's just disappointing all round. I really don't know what else to say. Massive disappointment, of course, from our side of things, and like it's another season with another trophy this season, another trophy this season. So what can we do now? Another trophy this season for the Arsenal. We're out of the Champions League. Us kind of being in the Champions League kind of papered over the cracks maybe, and we all were just swept along by it, especially the win over Real. But the problems remain. I think we need a new manager, and I think that Arteta needs to step back gracefully. But you know, he never will, and he's just a yes man for the club, yeah. But honestly, some of his comments yesterday were just outlandish. I mean, we're not the best. We weren't the best team of the four teams left. We were the worst. And we didn't deserve to win yesterday. We weren't robbed. The best team got through. He was trying to make out like that we should have got more out of it than we did. The best team won yesterday. We weren't robbed. They were better than us over the two games. Just like we were better than Real, they were better than us. He took the plaudits for the Real game, man. Now we came back down to earth. A dose of reality. Where he actually is now, where the club actually are at the moment. That is where we are. That is our level. So I don't understand. Just doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense, huh? I can't understand why Arteta is behaving like this after a result like that. I mean, let's learn from it and let's move on and let's bring in players that can strengthen. It's still not too late to do the right things. But him saying we were the best team and this and that, and I mean, that is just, I mean, what was he be saying to the players? Turn them into a right bunch of softies. Believe in that horse shit. Pardon my language. But we need to learn from this and we need to bring in the signings that we need to bring in. I'll be ready for next season. But you know it's going to be like Groundhog Day, like it's like a default setting. We're just going to go back and do the same thing we did the season before. The start of this season. Those signings we should have made, the right signings we should have made instead of the disgraceful signings we made. They would have made a big difference yesterday. Huh? They would have made a big difference in the league. We might have actually given Liverpool a title challenge. You know, there was no challenge from us. We didn't challenge them at all, never. We were never close. They just eased away into the distance as champions. It wasn't like at Manchester City where we actually had a go in those 2 years, but lost anyway. I mean, everybody watching out there, guys, let me ask you this, yeah. All Arsenal fans that are tuning in now, there's a lot of people watching, yeah. Do you think we can win a trophy under Mikel Arteta? Can we win a trophy under Arteta? Is that going to happen? And I know we won the FA Cup with him, yeah, with one of Emery's team. But I'm on about the present day. I'm on about the future. Can we win a trophy under Mikel Arteta? As things stand, with him as manager. He doesn't seem to learn. He doesn't have the necessary skills to take us to the next level where we need to be. Like I said, I don't want to just jump on the bandwagon and be tearing Arteta to pieces because that's a very easy thing to do after yesterday. But I think he's brought the team as far as he can. Look, we don't have to throw the baby out with the bathwater on this one, yeah. We don't need to overreact. This is a very good PSG team, and they were always going to beat us in Paris, yeah. They beat a lot of teams there. We won't be the last one, guys. But it's just the manner of it. The first game in London, abysmal, diabolical, and we were the home team. We started with a bit of fire yesterday and with a bit of passion, and we had them on the rack, and we could have got a couple of goals. But once they weathered that storm, they never looked back. And they dissected us. They picked us apart at will. Like I said, the first couple of minutes, yeah, we got the pressure. We had them under all kinds of pressure. And they were lucky to survive. But after that, they got stronger and stronger and stronger. And we were left behind. That's the way it was. I mean, Arteta, I don't know what game he was watching. I don't know what he thinks of the team and this and that. We are this and we're that and we're this and we're that. It's not realistic. That's the level we're at, yeah. We got to the semi-final. We can take a little bit of, we can take a little bit of positivity out of that and a bit of pride in the team and this and that. But Mikel Arteta thinking, I don't know, that we're the best team in the competition in the last four. instead of actually focusing on what went wrong and making sure that does not happen again when we face quality opposition next year in the Champions League, and bringing in that extra bit of quality we need. But who am I to talk, guys? You know what I mean? Apparently the fans were not that important, I think, really, to Mikel Arteta's ego and his own career, jeopardising our football club. That's exactly what it is. We're never going to win anything under Arteta, yeah? And I'm not a toxic fan, guys. I'm not toxic negative. There's also toxic positive out there, but I'm not toxic negative about the club, yeah? But I tell it like it is. Some fans out there, they're so positive about every single thing, which I think is good, yeah? To be positive and to support the club. But they're some fans are just so positive about things when there is no need to be, when we have nothing to actually kind of celebrate at the time. But they seem to think I don't know what, I don't understand it. Do you know what I mean? That someone could be so positive when it's obvious that we're in dire straits. Hey, how are you? I'm sorry, Arteta needs to go. He plays it safe and he never takes risks. Exactly, man. It's Arteta ball. We should have went for it yesterday, and we should have went for it in London, like proper. In London, we should have tried to mash them up, yeah, and we just couldn't do it. A big up to you, man. I'm good, yeah. I think I'm like a lot of Arsenal fans, yeah. They're kind of gone underground, yeah. They're kind of hiding from the. I'm like a lot of Arsenal fans, like I said, yeah. I think they're still gone underground, yeah. We're still kind of reeling from the shock of yesterday. I knew it was going to happen. Like a lot of Arsenal fans, we knew we weren't going to get past them, yeah. They showed enough at the game in the first leg in London, what they're capable of. I knew we weren't going to get past them, but it was just, in the end, it was disappointing anyway. Just the way it happened, the way it unfolded. It was just disappointing. Like I said, I was expecting it. I wasn't surprised, but we I don't know. I mean, you go all the way back to the transfer window, yeah. And that's kind of when things been kind of. How many more times are we going to keep crashing out of cups and leagues under this manager? The thing is, as well. I mean, man, still trying to get over that loss yesterday. But I mean, he's been given so much opportunities, and it's been 5 years into the project now. They didn't need it at Liverpool with Arne Slot, yeah. He landed the Premier League title like that his first season. Bang, they're champions. They have the league title, Liverpool. They've equalled the amount of titles United have, yeah, above 20 apiece. I mean, between the old First Division and the Premier League, yeah. They got 20 apiece. We've got 13. We're not doing too bad. Unlucky for some, lucky for us, but it's just Mikel Arteta saying that we were the best team in the last 4, that the best team lost yesterday and we deserve to go through. I don't know what game he was watching. I can just imagine the nonsense that he's saying to the players, but obviously going to stay another year. Yeah, of course. My friend here in Switzerland, he's a Basel fan. Chris Lee, big up to him, yeah. I went to see a live game with him last Sunday in Basel, but big up to my friend Chris. But he turned around and said, if Arteta doesn't win the league next season, that's it. But like yesterday, Saka didn't look fit, yeah, he looked injured, but we were running him into the ground. PSG named like they rested their whole team before the game against us. They already had the league wrapped up, they lost, it didn't matter. And we put out the players that we did in that terrible game against Bournemouth, yeah, that loss against Bournemouth. We had a right go at the start of the game, man. Like the first 10 minutes, we were maybe a little bit unlucky not to go ahead. But after that, they took over. And they were always a little bit sharper and better than us, huh? And we couldn't convert chances. But that's because we didn't strengthen in the transfer window when we should have. That goes back to haunt you all the time, you know. And that is life. We should have strengthened in the transfer window when we had a chance. Get in some proper quality. Yeah, he's obviously going to stay another year, yeah. I mean, he's a yes man. And that's the kind of player that the board want. That's the kind of manager, I mean, that the board wants. Sorry, that's the kind of manager that they want. They want a yes man, someone that's easily manipulated, and that is like a fucking dog waiting on his food. I mean, a lapdog. That's what Arteta is. He's been there long enough now already to have won something, apart from that FA Cup, yeah, with Unai Emery's team, and still nothing has happened. Like I said, how does he feel when Arnie Slot comes in and wins the league like that? Like, become runners up to Pep Guardiola and City twice. And then when we think we have a chance, Arteta is just standing there watching as Arnie Slot just slides in and takes the league with Liverpool. I mean, does that affect his psyche at all? Doesn't that make him think something's not right? Is he the right man for the job? Does he question himself? Just one trophy's all I ask. That is about as low as I can come and win something. Yeah, exactly. And honestly, man, I'm still a young guy. Yeah, I'm like you. We're still young enough, bro. We're middle-aged, huh? But I honestly don't think I'll see Arsenal win another major trophy again if Arteta stays in my lifetime. Honestly, man, you never know. We are playing David Moyes football from when Arteta was at Everton. Big up AFC, bro. It's been a while, huh? I hope you're keeping well, man. A lot of Arsenal fans coming out of the woodwork, guys. Not talking about you, AFC, but a lot of fans coming out of the woodwork, guys. A lot of fans still got their heads buried in the sand. A lot of Arsenal fans are wounded after yesterday. It really broke them, yeah? It broke them. And I mean, I am one of the most mentally strong people you would ever meet in your life, guys. I mean, Irish, we've had hard times, like a lot of people have, but I am tough. But I mean, that yesterday, even for me, was a bitter pill to swallow. It takes a lot to shut me up, guys. I was as quiet as a mouse yesterday. You know what I mean? But it's like, I was watching Yorkshire Gunner earlier, yeah? I think he's actually still live now. And he was saying that when we were going for Arteta, yeah, everything we're looking at Ancelotti. We were going for Arteta, and everything we're looking at Ancelotti. Think about that now, guys. They were going for a proven winner, Everton Football Club, and what were we doing? We were courting Mikel Arteta, and he became manager. We should have looked for someone with a bit more experience and a more proven manager. If it takes a bit of time, it takes a bit of time. But let the caretaker take over. You know what I mean? Caretaker manager. It doesn't matter. Most important thing is that you get the right man in. And you know what? You know how they kind of sneaked it all past us, guys? They got it past our guard, the signing of Mikel Arteta as manager at the start, because he was a former player. I remember thinking, oh yeah, former player coming in to manage the team. It was like a fairy tale, you know? It was like one of these things, yeah, man, that's good, you know? He's a former player, I know he wants to be the coach, and, you know, it had that feel-good factor. That's how they got it past us, yeah? That's how they got it under our radar. That's exactly how things happened, yeah? His comments after the game yesterday, I mean, it's actually embarrassing. I mean, other teams didn't say anything, I'm sure, because they're thinking, you know, it's embarrassing enough for Arsenal and for Arsenal fans. Arteta embarrassed himself. But his comments about us being the best team in the competition, Ancelotti might be available after the Club World Cup. Jesus, hopefully. We'll take him, you know what I mean? Take him in a heartbeat, man. But I just don't understand. I mean, where do we go from here now? It's back to the drawing board. Like, if we had made those signings that we should have in the transfer window, yeah, and in the summer, that would have made a big difference in the league against Liverpool, and it would have made a big difference yesterday. Look, you got to give it up to the team, yeah. They put in a shift at the start of the game. They really tried to turn it around, and they tried to get a goal at the very beginning. They were a little bit unlucky not to score. They really went for it in the beginning. Yeah, they realized if they get an early goal, it could switch things up, and it would put PSG would be nervous. They were nervous at the start anyway, in front of the home crowd, but then they settled. But we battered them at the beginning. Yeah, it's just a pity we didn't get a goal. It would have made things interesting. Look, like I said, a lot of people are still getting over the disappointment yesterday. They're licking their wounds. But the thing is here now, like I don't want to just be reactionary because of yesterday, but this is a long time coming. They really need to start and sit up and take notice. Is Mikel Arteta the right man for the job? because the way it stands and the way things are looking, he's taking the team as far as he can. And you know what? When he leaves the club, guys, if he leaves the club tonight, tomorrow, whenever, he should be treated with respect. Arsenal fans are good people, yeah, but he should be treated with respect. When he leaves, there should be no mention of this and of that and his failures and not winning the league and not winning anything. We should thank him for his service, and he leaves. No bad blood. We shouldn't have a dig at him. You know what I mean? There's no need to have a dig at the man. So I'm there and let him go. But we find ourselves in a situation now where we're unsure of what's going to happen in the new season. And can we actually get across the line and win the title? That is the question. That would be of concern if you ask me. Can we actually get across the line and win the title? That is something to me that seems to be out of our reach. Excuse me, a little bit out of our reach, I think. My own opinion. I think he's taking the team as far as he can. Is it official? Ancelotti will be the new Brazil manager. Look, they got themselves a good coach if that's the case. I see they've elected a new pope, yeah? I hope maybe he can be our manager. Maybe that's what we need, a bit of divine inspiration. The pope will be our new coach. Arteta should be calling Aubameyang every day, thanking him for helping him win his only trophy. Yeah, that little bit of class. And it was a bit of class and a centre forward. A good quality striker. Until he doesn't think that we need one. Even though the only trophy he won when Unai Emery's team had a top-class forward in it. And he still doesn't think that we need a top-class forward, even though the success he had was down to a top-class forward. I mean, you couldn't write that. So many players didn't have good games yesterday. I don't want to pick on individuals. I'm not going to go into that, but Saka tried manfully. He was obviously not fully fit. But why didn't we rest him? We lost anyway to Bournemouth. So I think we might as well have just rested all those players. Ben White, when he came on, he tried to do his best. Sorry, I was just stretching out. Ben White, when he came on, he tried to do his very best, and he got stuck in. He had a go, Ben White, and he tried. Saka never stopped running and trying, but they had him in the cul-de-sac and he couldn't get free. Like I said, he didn't look fully fit. He was lacking that little bit of sharpness and pace. Of course he got the goal. Of course he missed the sitter after that. Of course he had that curler that Donnarumma said, but he still didn't look like it. Maybe the pub can buy our club and strengthen with quality players. Exactly. He could have the Swiss guard as the defence. The Swiss guard could be in defence. You know what I mean? No, but seriously, I mean, I don't want to talk too much about it, but where are we actually going to go from there? Where are we actually going to go from there? Skelly was getting beat. No, there was a couple of times there that Martinelli actually ran back and helped him out. It's that guy Hakimi, man. He scored one of the goals. It's Hakimi. He's got pace to burn, and when he breaks, it's like he breaks it real intent on purpose. Skelly was getting beat. A few times Martinelli actually had to sprint back and get in there and put his body on the line and get the ball away because Skelly was vulnerable. But we gave the ball away in bad areas just in front of the back four, and they capitalised on it immediately with those goals. I mean, it was like, don't mess around with the ball in that position. Just get rid of it. I would never complain if they just long ball it. Get it out, get it away from the goal. We ain't going nowhere with Arteta, and the club will continue to sink. I don't know why they're sticking with him. I just don't understand why that's happening. Look, it's very disappointing. We're still down about it. Like I said, a lot of fans haven't surfaced after the game. It's been very quiet on the WhatsApp. I made a couple of WhatsApp groups. I'm connected with a lot of Arsenal fans. It's been very quiet on the WhatsApp. We're just in the doldrums, because this was everything for us. This was everything for us. You know what I mean? This was absolutely everything for us yesterday. I mean, that was our whole season there in a nutshell. and everything is gone now. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I mean, there's a lot to talk about. There's a lot to think about. Like I said, we shouldn't be jumping on the bandwagon saying Arteta out, but I mean, I don't think he's the man to take us further. He's gone as far as he can with the team. I don't think he's capable of anything else, and he doesn't seem to want to admit that we need a top quality forward. We don't seem to follow up on that and bring in the quality we need. He makes bad signings. We're wasting money that we could put towards getting in that right quality striker we need. I mean, what hurts is that Man United or Tottenham can win a European trophy. Yeah, United are going almost in the relegation zone, and they can actually win a trophy. That's the concern. All right, I'm back, guys. What hurts is the Man United or Tottenham can win a European trophy. Yeah, exactly. And where do we stay? Where do we stand in all of this? Where do we stand in the whole situation? I want Inzaghi. He's a great coach. He's a great coach. Simeone Inzaghi is a great coach. The older brother of Filippo. Yeah, it's just, I don't know. I think he's brought us as far as he can. I don't think we can move any more now. We can go forward with him, to be honest. It just doesn't seem possible. It's the only way I could explain it, though. I think we've kind of we've reached that level. He's taken us as far as we can go. I don't think we can actually push any further than that. I think that's basically it. But the thing is, now we can be concerned because, like, I mean, how long is he going to stay as manager now? Are they going to be content and put up with this every season? And you have to listen to the plastic fans who don't know what they're talking about. I mean, we can't keep going on like this. We're back to being the banter club. I was hoping to finally be able to flex and winning a Champions League. Will we ever get this close again? Exactly. It took a hell of a lot to get us to that situation, to that place, to be in a semi-final, to be in a quarter-final and a semi-final. And it's been 16 years since we were there. And I remember that game against United in 2009. It was a nightmare watching it with my friends in the bar. A lot of them were United fans. Jesus God. That was 16 years ago. It's been 16 years. It's been so long since we have actually won the league. Oh my God. And then with the Champions League, it was 16 years since we've been in a final. Sorry, a semi-final. And 19 years since we challenged Barcelona in that final. Big up, Damon, man. I hope you're keeping well. Thank you to everybody for your comments. I appreciate it, guys. It's a bit of a slow street tonight, but thank you. I hope you're all keeping well, and thank you for tuning in. I ain't watching any more Arsenal games. Now I've checked out, going to see what Bertha does in the summer. If nothing improves or Arteta still here, I ain't going to bother next year either. Just want to play our semi-final with my football team. Nice. Glad to hear it, man. Congratulations. Oh my God, I remember that match. The 40-yard free kick from Ronaldo. I cried. Yeah. The 3-1, yeah. And I think it was Kieran Gibbs had a nightmare, Not picking on him, but I think Kieran Gibbs in defence for Arsenal had an absolute nightmare. Yeah, congrats, Damon, bro. Big up to you, and thanks for tuning in. But yeah, Kieran Gibbs had a real nightmare against United that they really exposed us. To lose to them was pretty painful. Yeah, but like I said, Kieran Gibbs, he had a real difficult 2 games against them, against United. It was right in that area where we got hurt. But we couldn't have matched them. They were much too good for us. I mean, it was the back-to-back. Oh my God, don't remind me, man. My God, how can I forget? Jesus, those losses to Bayern now were just soul destroying. I mean, we got absolutely stuffed. We got absolutely just demolished against them. Yeah, back-to-back 10-2 in 2 games against Bayern. Yeah. I think it's better getting knocked out before the final since it hurts more losing the final than other Champions League matches. But the toughest place to lose is in the semi final. The toughest place to lose is in the semi final. I was fuming at Wenger. Yeah, it was just he had like the team that they had, man. The defenders. I mean, Mustafi up against one of the best forwards of all time, Robert Lewandowski. I mean, what a mismatch. I mean, Mustafi was like this. Where's the ball? Oh, there it is. Oh, the man has gone past me. Oh, it's a goal. It was like in slow motion. It was like the Three Stooges. Mustafi was just turning, looking. The ball was already gone. He couldn't cut it out. He let it run, and he lost his marker. He lost his man, and Lewandowski was running in. I mean, he's like, oh, oh my god, yeah, Wenger, man. That was when it kind of got to the crescendo. Wenger out there. I actually got a T-shirt made, like black T-shirt with gold writing, and on the back it was Wenger out. I brought it to work and I held it up like that. And someone took a photo of me by the car park in work. Yeah. My God, man. Jeez, going to Munich was just like, and we got absolutely stuffed. Every time we just got completely tonked. They just tonked us. We got stuffed. Oh my God. Bad times, guys, bad times. Yeah, you're fuming at Wenger. I want to blame you, man. But yeah, the thing is now, where do we go from here? I mean, where do we start to pick ourselves up? But we've got the Liverpool game on Sunday, Sunday the 11th. We got the Liverpool game. Then we got Newcastle and Southampton, and that is it for our season. Then we're going to have talk about all the transfers. Then we're going to have talk about this. Then we're going to have talk about that. And are we going to underachieve like that, like this season, yeah? And not sign the players that we need to, and sign players that we actually don't need at cut price. A lot of players need to be moved on, yeah? And we got to stop buying second-rate players, players we don't actually need. Oh, we're the worst for that. I don't know why we do that, I don't understand it. Just 1 second, guys. I'm going to go drain the weasel and I'll be back, yeah? 1 second. All right, I'm back, guys. Sorry about that. Got talking to the woman that owns the apartment, yeah, having a chat. But yeah, guys, look, it's getting a bit tiresome, yeah. I mean, I don't want to keep going over the same old things, but I mean, where are we going to find ourselves in the new season? What is going to happen? And if any club just buries their head in the sand, or there's complete inactivity when things are going bad, Arsenal are the worst for that. I think if the fans caused a bit of an uproar, if there was a couple of marches and demonstrations, like, I mean, they do that at Liverpool, they do that at United, and things change. But we're not kind of, the Arsenal fan base is not kind of into that. We don't tend to kind of go nuts. In Liverpool and at United, they go crazy when things happen like that. And Newcastle United too, not just Man United, not just Liverpool. We tend to take a lot. Everton wouldn't stand for this. We just tend to take a lot as fans. I don't understand it fully, but that's the way it is. We just tend to take a lot of stuff like that, and we just kind of accept it. They're going to be like, you see now when things are bad, yeah, like when things were bad last season, and when we came close but didn't win the league, and when there was a big disappointment, you see the club goes extremely quiet, very quiet. They just don't react. They just bury their head in the sand and they just kind of see out the storm. And then later on, we kind of move on past that. You know what I mean? It just doesn't make much sense. I don't understand it. It's like that. You know what I mean? I don't understand exactly what goes on. I just don't understand it. Anyway. But yeah, we'll see what happens. I mean, but it definitely is. Next year marks 140 years of Arsenal Football Club. It's not Arteta 2019. Jesus Christ. Time is moving on, huh? I mean, seriously, time is moving on. We're left in the doldrums a little bit, eh? We're not kind of moving forward. It's hard to kind of understand it, yeah, but we're kind of getting left. I don't know. We're just messing around, yeah. We're not doing what we need to do. It's kind of hard to figure out what's going on. But hopefully we can turn things around, yeah. But it's not going to be easy, I think. Anyway, let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. 140 years of the club, yeah. I mean, I can just, like I said, when the club tend to go through periods like this where there's disappointing games, they do tend to bury their head in the sand, and it's just like they go quiet and there's nothing happening. Yeah? There's nothing happening then. That is disappointing. That is a bad thing for us. So when it goes like that, we tend to just be in a bad place. It's difficult to get out of there, you know. It's difficult to kind of get out of there. But we'll see what we can do, yeah. We'll see what we can do. Hopefully we can actually do something now. But it's going to be difficult. We ain't beating Liverpool and Newcastle, yeah. We had 3 attempts to beat Newcastle this season already, and they beat us each one. So we're not going to do that. And Liverpool, no. And Southampton are always a difficult team for us too, yeah. They kind of put us on the rack. You know what I mean? So we got to be careful there. It's going to be difficult for us. But we got to look to the next season, but still there's nothing going to be happening there. I mean, we got to start from scratch again now. We got to start from scratch. I mean, we're close. We're close to winning something. We're close to challenging. but we just don't seem to get across the line. Do you know what I mean? We just don't seem to make it. It just doesn't happen. So I don't understand, really. That's basically it, yeah. That is the way the cookie crumbles. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, we tend to just kind of disappear. We tend to just kind of drop off the radar. And like I said, when things go wrong with the club, we don't tend to respond. We don't do anything. We just kind of, we just disappear. You know what I mean? So that's the kind of the worrying thing for us. So that's what kind of happens with us. We just tend to kind of fall away and don't do much. Yeah, we have beaten Liverpool and Newcastle. No, we're not. Yeah, we're still all kind of getting over the result yesterday. I mean, it was very disappointing for everybody involved with the football club. It was just massive disappointment. So I don't know. We'd have to see what happens, but we definitely we got caught a bit though. We definitely got caught. We're gonna kind of fight back then, you know. It was disappointing for sure. Disappointing for sure. Couldn't really kind of. The best team won for sure, yeah. I mean, we can't say anything other than that. The best team won. They deserved to beat us, but it was just difficult for us. So difficult for us as a club. Difficult for the fans. It's because of what happened in the last couple of seasons, and it's like we're going around in circles again. Look, I know only one team can win the league, and only one team can win the Champions League, of course. But we've been so close in the league the last couple of seasons, not this season, but the previous two. Look, it is improvement, yeah. We are pushing, we are improving. Like second season back in the Champions League, and we get to the semi-final. But we won't repeat that next season. And how are we going to fare in the league? Money needs to be spent, yeah, to bring in quality. Not like the players we bought recently, yeah. No disrespect, yeah, with all due respect to them. But we need to bring in quality. And that's how I see things. You know what I mean? We actually need to bring in quality. And we're not doing that. And we didn't do it when we needed to. And it cost us in the league this season. And it cost us yesterday. How long are they going to keep going on like that? I mean, spend the money and bring in the players. Why did we spend 100 million on Declan Rice when we aren't going to reinforce in other areas? It doesn't make sense. Do you know what I mean? Pay that money on Declan Rice, but then we don't reinforce in other areas. I don't understand. That's my own opinion anyway. I mean, we need to be better than that. We need to be stronger than that. And we've got a lot of competition now. Liverpool are back. You know what I mean? Liverpool are back. They're not going anywhere. Slot is not going anywhere. They're going to be around. They're going to be winning things. What are we going to be doing? Do you know what I mean? Not much, I'd say. Kind of sort things out in the transfer window. Simple as. Kind of sort things out in the transfer window. Otherwise, we're done. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, there we go. 2 seasons ago, we were 93% top of the league. This season, 0% top of the league. And Liverpool are back now, yeah. They're going to be a difficult team to beat. Liverpool are back. They're going to be a difficult team to beat. So we'll have to see what happens. You know what I mean? It's not going to be easy for us. Typical though, City kind of fade and falter, and Liverpool come along and kind of steal our thunder, and they win the league. That's 3 seasons now, guys. That's 3 years of our lives. Twice runners up to City, and now we might finish second. It's hard to say about runners up to Liverpool, but we never challenged this season at all, yeah? And we're out of the Champions League, and Arteta's behaviour, his comments are definitely concerning. Yeah? I would be concerned listening to what he was saying. I mean, I can just imagine what he's saying to the players. I hope they don't buy into what he's saying, because it's just, he doesn't know what he's talking about. His comments were just, I mean, he never kind of learns anything and takes it from the game. Yeah? He never learns anything and develops and takes it with him. It's been 5 years of that. And he's not being realistic about what he's saying. That is completely unrealistic. And I know a lot of positive Arsenal fans out there. They're toxic positive. Some of them are YouTubers. I'm not going to name names. But they're way too positive about the situation at the club. And look, I love supporting the club too when, we get excited about the ladies getting into the Champions League final and, all the best and this and that. But I don't know, they don't tend to kind of agree that the situation is serious at the club. And it is. Our backs are to the wall. It's going to be difficult for us. It is not going to be easy. No, it's just tricky. It's just tricky. We're going to have problems. We're going to have problems. I just don't know which way it's going to go, really. It's hard to say. We're under a lot of pressure. We don't tend to make good signings, decision making. Everything just kind of falls apart. And we find ourselves in this position. When the dog will have puppies and the puppies will have puppies before Arsenal title. I don't think I'll see us win another major trophy in my lifetime, to be honest. In my lifetime, and I'm still a young man. I just can't see it happening. Honestly. I really believe that. I think it's going to be difficult for us. In my lifetime, I think it's going to be difficult. I don't think I'll see us win another major trophy like that. I honestly don't. You know what I mean? But we'll see. We'll see what happens. It is disappointing, though. It is disappointing. I mean, like I said, a lot of fans, they're kind of gone underground now. I want to blame them. It's difficult for them to kind of... Yeah, it was a tough way for us. A tough way for us recently. There's not much more I can say about that. I mean, it was just difficult for us. Difficult for us. All the way. You know what I mean? Difficult all the way through. And now we were kind of putting everything on the... We were kind of putting everything on the Champions League. And we just couldn't do it. You know what I mean? Excuse me. It's the curse of the club, guys. But we just couldn't do it. We just couldn't do it. So let's see. Just drink something quick, guys. So this is where we find ourselves. You got to kind of fear for the new season. Yeah? I mean, what are we going to do in the transfer window? I mean, there has to be an outcry if we don't bring in the quality we need. And the other teams are going to strengthen. I mean, Newcastle are hot on our heels. They're not going away anywhere anytime soon. And we got to play them, huh? I don't know. It doesn't make much sense. I don't understand it fully. Yeah. I just think we're going to get... Yeah, it's going to be tricky for us. So I don't understand. I'll just see what happens. It is what it is. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, we're still licking our wounds after that game. We're still licking our wounds after that game. And it was disappointing because that was the end of the season. That kind of marked the end of our season. That's basically that. That is the end of the season for us. We can't do anything really now. We're getting pushed back. You know what I mean? Any point in watching the rest of the league? I don't think there's a point in it. My own opinion. I don't think it makes any sense. No offense to anybody that wants to enjoy the last couple of games there, but it's just the Champions League final is coming up now. That's something to enjoy. That is on May 31st in Munich, of course. My friend applied for tickets, which you have to do, but he got rejected. But the tickets were €1,700 for two. Two tickets were €1,700, and they weren't the best seats in the stadium. But that's what you were talking about. Because Munich is close to us here. It's like 3 hours from Zurich. Where we are here in Zurich, Munich is just 3 hours. 3 hours away. So we could easily get there for the final. But I'm actually flying out to the United States the day after the final. So maybe it's good I'm not going. That would be a hell of a journey there and back. Up the next morning very early after the final to get back to Switzerland to fly to America. But yeah, at least there's the Champions League final to look forward to on the 31st of May. Anything else? I don't think there's any other reason, to be honest. I just don't think there's a reason to watch it. You're obviously going to throw an eye on it and cast an eye on it, and you're going to hear what happens. And let's face it, we all go and we check the highlights out. We can't help it. We're fans. That's what we do as fans. We check the highlights. But nah, I don't think there's any point. It is what it is, guys. I mean, look. If you could pick a player of the season, who would your player of the season be? And if you could pick the best player for us in yesterday's game, in the 2 games against PSG, who do you think was our best player? Probably David Raya, I think. In the 2 games against PSG, I think David Raya was our best player. But there weren't many that stood out there. For one reason or another, I think David Raya was the best player. But our player of the season? Probably Declan Rice, I think, would be the player of the season. But yeah, in the games against PSG, I think it was David Raya saved us. He was the hero. Not much more we can say about that. I mean, look, like I said, all the Arsenal fans are still gone underground after yesterday. I mean, it was obviously disappointment. I mean, it's understandable. But it's onwards and upwards for us. And hopefully we can push Arteta away. That would be nice. Trying to get a new manager in and do something. You know what I mean? At least do something. But I wouldn't be paying much attention to the rest of the league, to be honest. I mean, it's kind of inconsequential now. Like I said, obviously as fans, we're going to check out the highlights. But look, yesterday was yesterday was just, I mean, after the highs of the Real Madrid game and what we did to them, we've come back down to earth with a bump, yeah. And I mean, the home loss against Bournemouth was just, I don't know what you make of that, guys, but that did not. We played so badly. It was like, what the hell is going on? I mean, they should have been stronger. I just don't understand what was going on for what it is. It's a bit of fun, nothing more, nothing less. That's basically the thing when you go to Thailand now. It's a bit of fun, nothing more, nothing less. Once you know that, you'll be grand. You know what I mean? Take it as it is then. Take it at face value. You're not going to be falling in love over there or anything like that. It's a bit of short-term fun. Then you come back to reality, you know what I mean? To your normal life. And that's basically it. That's what you've got to know. But alright, let's listen to a bit of music. Let's keep the stream going for a while before I go to bed. I've got a 12-hour day tomorrow, and then on Saturday I'm only working 4 hours. Then I've got the weekend. I come home Saturday night and chill. Sunday I have plans, I'm heading out. So I'm gonna go into Zurich and meet a friend. And yeah, the weather is meant to be good, so I hope it is. I hope it keeps its promise, because I want to be out and about, having a look around Zurich and chilling. So yeah, something nice for me, yeah. Get out of the house, go away and do something nice. That's basically it. That's my plan anyway. Do you know what I mean? Can't be bad, can't be bad. But we're all still recovering from the game yesterday, yeah. Disappointing, I know, for everybody, yeah. Mad disappointed. Do you know what I mean? That was kind of our whole season in a nutshell, wrapped up in that game. It's a pity. It's a pity, you know. It's a pity. It's a pity, really. But that's it. Yeah, the season is over now for us. There's nothing to kind of get excited about. Again, we're kind of in the doldrums. It is what it is. It is what it is. Can't say much more than that. You know what I mean? We'll see what happens. Alright guys, I'm going to wrap up the stream there. I want to thank everybody for your continued support. Thank you to AFC. Thank you to Carlos Eduardo. Thank you to Damon. Thank you to everybody for dropping a comment and tuning in. I appreciate it. And I'll see you all next time, guys. And I hope that yesterday wasn't too tough for you as Arsenal fans. But keep the faith. Hopefully better times lie ahead for us. It is what it is. Take it easy, guys, and I'll see you next time. Peace.